you. Today is Thursday, 22nd of January 2026. My name is Francisco Gaffney, and this is my daily streaming all about governance, risk, compliance, and advisory boards. And if you are on an alternative investment market or a main market board, you already know this feeling. You are doing the right strategic work, but the market only sees what you disclose, when you disclose it, and how coherent it feels. So today is about the new rules of a topic board keep underestimating. So disclosures are not admin. Disclosures are a product. And guess what? Your shareholders consume it. And when your strategy includes conditional acquisitions, regulator approvals, investing policy changes, and flexible financing, your disclosure is either a trust builder or a trust leak. So let's use a live case I'm watching as an example to illustrate this. So the company, as a context, the company is moving from being an investment platform to owning a regulated operation infrastructure, but the proposed acquisition is conditional. So completion is explicitly dependent on the Financial Conduct Authority change of control approvals and the shareholder approval to amend the investing policy to allow majority ownership. So the board in this case has to do two jobs at once. Number one is advance the work, and number two, keep the market's mental model accurate. So they don't want the people to start to make their own stories, right? So let's take a look at three problems with this. Number one is, in this particular case, the conditional deals create a kind of a certainty theater, if you may. You can sign a deal, fund the target working capital, and still not control it. In this case, completion is conditional to or on Financial Conduct Authority approval and a shareholder vote to amend the investing policy. So if the market hears we are acquiring without hearing we still need X and Y, the confidence gets fragile. Number two is delusion. Um, and delusion means the narratives turn fast when the structures are complex. And this is a problem because the same case includes equity, a convertible loan note, and the market facility, and a set of status safeguards, plus a commitment to a regulatory new service disclosures for each tranche. So if the board does not keep that story very tight, investors feel the gaps with worst case assumption, right? Because people tend to the negative for whichever reason. And problem number three is private helpful updates can become a market abuse problem. The UK market abuse regulation prohibits the unlawful disclosure of inside information, and the Financial Conduct Authority has published best practice guidance on identifying, controlling, and disclosing inside information. So the board needs discipline about what is said, to whom, and when. So in other words, imagine this. Disclosures is your company's dashboard, like in a fast car, in a speed car. If the speedometer is laggy, nobody trusts the drive, even if the engine is very solid, right? So what does good look like then? Good looks like a fewer surprises, as simple as that, not fewer announcement surprises. So its clarity requires three things. One is what is decided, number two, what is conditional, and number three, what is still unknown. And here's an interesting thing. In regulated bills, unknown is normal. The problem is pretending it is not. So as an advisor, as a board advisor, what I would propose to consider in this case. Number one, put the shareholder consent where it belongs, upfront, not buried. Alternative investing market rules require shareholder consent in a general meeting for a material change to an investing policy for an investing company. So that's not a minor procedure step. It is a trust movement. It's a trust moment for your shareholders. Suggestion number two is treat voting right as an operational control, not a footnote there. When you're issuing shares through the fundraising tools, that becomes part of the investor navigation system. So if your issuance base changes the denominator, publish that cleanly and consistently. And number three, the suggestion is build a disclosure map that links conditions to comms. Particularly in this live case, the board has to connect change of control approval, investing policy vote, and any funding mechanics being used as a breach. That map should include what is inside information, what are the risks of that inside information, and which stakeholder interactions are allowed before the regulatory news service is published. So the Financial Conduct Authority inside information guidance is a practical anchor here. So you already have a guidance there. So here's a difference between boards that keep trust and boards that spend time repairing trust. Very hard job, that one. The strong boards never let the market form the wrong story. They say, this is what we have, this is what we need, and this is what could change. And they say it in the same way every time through every milestone. So why this approach matters? For three things: the outcomes, the differentiators, and the risk reductions. In terms of the outcomes, boards produce a disclosure map that keeps conditionality legible. One needs Financial Conduct Authority approval, one needs a shareholder vote, and what the interim period means in plain English, without over-promising. In the case we are watching, those conditions are explicit and steerable. Well done job, a very good job there. In terms of differentiator, boards combine market rules with board rhythm. So you have three things here: alternative investing market, Financial Conduct Authority, and the market abuse regulation. So these three disciplines become one integrated cadence rather than three separate compliance conversations, right? So you have three different things that you combine in one cadence, and so it's one integrated cadence altogether. And how you reduce your risk. Boards reduce structure anxiety. When funding includes convertibles and at the market capacity, boards maintain safeguards, triggers, and coherent disclosure cadence. So investors focus on execution rather than fear or second thoughts. That's why safeguards and tranches transparency commitments show why this matters. So one action you can take home today that is doable in 30 minutes or less. Write a one-page disclosure map. Decisions, conditions, unknowns, and beside them, the next regulatory news service triggers for each one of them. Then share it with your chair, your COSEC, and broker for alignment. And remember, you need the story straight through all the communication channels is the same one, so you don't create secondary stories or people making things up in their own minds. Right, so let's pause it here today and reconvene tomorrow, because tomorrow I'm going to wrap up the week with a single board launch readiness drill that aligns capital, control approvals, and market messaging so that you can move from mobilization to trading without a credibility wobble. And if you are a UK listed board running a conditional acquisition and regulated approvals, message me the word control, and we'll set up a 30-minute call to understand your position and how an advisory board can help with disclosure map. We'll turn your next 90 days approvals in votes and funding into a clear compliance comms plan. So have a great day and see you